Hello Facebook, this is Chris Pickard at Body Imbalance in Hertfordshire, and today I'm going to be talking about the liver, well, your liver, and how to look after it, how to spot some of the things that can be causing problems with it that you may not be aware of, and why you need to be aware of these things, and also maybe spotting ways that your liver might be dysfunctioning. Hello, Mr. Tom Heron. So, the liver. Okay, first of all, where is it? The liver's underneath the right-hand side. Remember, this is Facebook, so it's all flipped. So it's underneath the right-hand side, sort of on top of the stomach, the right kidney, the pancreas is behind it. So it's all in here. And the liver is the largest organ inside the body, and you can cut various things out, like your gallbladder, which is just underneath it, but it's a vital organ, so just like your heart and your lungs, you can't do without your liver. Now, unlike your lungs and your heart, which have kind of obvious signs when they're starting to dysfunction, although having said that, 50% of people who have a heart attack or have heart disease, their first sign is actually a heart attack. So that goes out the window. But basically, the liver, it's really hard to spot dysfunction in just the liver. It's involved in a huge array of different processes. So, for instance, it creates bile, which goes into the gallbladder, and the gallbladder then concentrates the bile. And the bile is needed. There's a couple of things that goes on with the bile, but first one is it's to help to break down and absorb fats, because we need fats. A huge amount of our body should be fat, and all of our cell membranes, which is the most important part of the cell, the membrane, is fat and cholesterol, which is why, again, the liver makes cholesterol, because you need cholesterol to make brain cells, nerve cells, foot cells, eye cells, liver cells. You need cholesterol. It's need to regulate proteins and fats and sugars going into your body as well. What else does it need? Cholesterol clotting factors. It regulates hormones as well. And of course, the second thing that bile does is it helps actually get rid of fat-soluble toxins from your body. And the liver as a whole works on detoxifying your body of all the crud and rubbish that builds up from its natural resources, as well as some of the things that we eat are actually toxic to us to a small degree, and your liver needs to handle those to stop them building up in the body. But there's a problem, a modern problem, which I'll be getting to. And the two biggest sort of problems, or the two biggest enemies of the liver, which are in your control really, are alcohol, number one, and the second one is fructose, which is a type of sugar. Now, glucose is the sugar that your body makes and is inside every single cell in our body. Fructose is not made by us at all, and it has to be completely broken down by the liver to make it useful. It puts a huge strain on the liver, fructose. Now, you do find fructose in fruit, which is why it gets called fruit sugar and why it gets labelled as healthy, because it's fruit sugar. Now, in the fruit, it's fine. But the problem is this is manufactured. It's something called high fructose corn syrup. So look out for HFCS, or just corn syrup, or there's all kinds of sort of glucosey, syrupy things it's known as. Not glucose, but syrups and fructoses. You don't want added fructose to your diet at all, just in fruits and berries. That's the only place you should be getting fructose from. Because it's so pervasive, you find it added to everything to make it sweet. So it's in biscuits, it's in cakes, it's in cereals, it's in a huge amount of things. Even some healthy bars, healthy food bars, it's got high fructose corn syrup in it. And there's other things in high fructose corn syrup, like you might actually find traces of mercury in it. But it's really bad for the liver, and it helps cause fatty livers, toxic livers, and as the liver gets put under strain, you can start getting all kinds of different symptoms. It might be quite simply fatigue. It might be that you cannot lose weight because your liver's not processing fats and other proteins and other nutrients properly. And you can't get rid of the toxins because it's under so much strain, so your body swells up and dilutes them, and it stores them in fat. So yeah, weight loss resistance is a big problem with the liver. Itchiness as toxins sort of build up in your body. Yellowing in the eyes, classic sign of jaundice. Hopefully you haven't got that. That's usually a sign of really terribly bad liver strain. Red palms, red feet, as red soles of the feet. There's all kinds of different things: chronic fatigue, irritability, aches and pains through the body. There's a huge amount of things. You know, bags under the eyes, red eyes all the time, itchy eyes, allergic eyes as it's called. The list basically goes on because the liver is involved in so many different processes. So alcohol and high fructose corn syrup, or fructose, are the two big things to avoid. The next things are lots of different things we're exposed to all the time, like plastics, new things. Everything new we buy is covered in like fire retardants and things, which have their uses, okay, but all the smells when you get something new, all those sort of smells, they're all the different plasticky, chemically things that are not good for us. They get into our lungs and get into our body. So flame retardants, plastics, and there's another 100,000 or so man-made chemicals in our environment that we're drinking, that we're eating in our food, that cause problems with our liver. Some of them do, some of them don't. Most of them haven't been investigated yet. We do know that there are now over 700 man-made chemicals in our body, which our body just doesn't know what to do with. Our liver has no idea what to do with it, so it stores them or tries to do something with them. One of the worst is something called glyphosate, which is a herbicide, and if you eat wheat, so whether that's a cereal-based product or whether that's bread, then you're ingesting glyphosate. Even organic stuff has glyphosate, and we found that glyphosate is toxic to the liver at lower doses than we previously thought was safe. And experiments on rats have shown that even rats who are well known for basically being able to eat anything and digest anything and put up with all kinds of poisons and toxins, even their livers undergo non-alcoholic fatty liver disease at lower doses of glyphosate than previously thought was a problem. So glyphosate is probably enemy number 3. Enemy number 4 of the big enemies is paracetamol, which is given to the children in the form of Calpol. It's hideously bad for your liver, and I'll get back to why it is in a minute. But yeah, Calpol, paracetamol, terrible for the liver. It builds up, it causes all kinds of disruption. It's also bad for the kidneys as well. So it's bad for the whole of toxic elimination, really. And even one dose of paracetamol or Calpol can cause lifelong damage, according to the science. So how does the liver get rid of toxins? Well, there are actually 3 phases to liver detoxification. The first phase of liver detoxification is about changing the chemicals, changing them into something that can be eliminated, because not all of the toxins in your body can just be flushed out. They have to be changed in some way. And the 2 main ways of changing are either hydrolysis, which is basically dissolving it in water. That's the best way to think of it. So you need plenty of water for your detox systems to actually work. Okay, so we've got hydrolysis, and then you've got what are called redox reactions, which is either adding an electron or taking away an electron, or adding some oxygen or taking away some oxygen. And the most important chemical for that process is something called glutathione. Glutathione is possibly the most important chemical in your body, or molecule. And guess what? Paracetamol blocks the formation of glutathione, one of the most important chemicals you need for your liver to work properly. So paracetamol is bad no matter what dose it's given in. So water and glutathione is made from proteins. So you need adequate proteins in your diet. The second phase of liver detoxification, phase 2, is called conjugation. And again, you need various proteins and you need glutathione again. So if you're having paracetamol because you're in pain and you're wondering why you feel so rubbish, or you're giving it to a child for fevers and things like that, you're actually impairing the body's ability to work. And because it's needed in both phases of detoxification. You need sulfur as well. That's another way that your body gets rid of things. It needs other proteins to help get these chemicals out of the body, because the actual changing of the chemistry in phase 1 can actually make the chemicals more toxic, which is why it's urgent to get phase 2 working. And so phase 3 is actually the getting rid. So sometimes there's a bit of other change happening in there as well in the phase 3. So really important to understand there's phase 1, there's phase 2, they both have to be working properly, and then phase 3, the ability to actually get rid of all the toxins has to be happening as well. So I'm going to go through what you can do in a minute to help get rid of toxins, but there's one thing I want you to be aware of. If you're on a lot of medication, all medications usually interfere and put more strain on the liver. But if you're on statin drugs, you must avoid grapefruit. In fact, if your liver is up the spout, as it were, or if you do think that your liver is a problem and you want to detoxify, you must avoid grapefruit. Basically, a big glass of grapefruit juice, so we're talking, probably a couple of mugs maybe of grapefruit juice, will actually impair phase 1 detoxification by 30%. So grapefruit, even though they've got lots of good stuff in them, if you're trying to detox, you don't want it in huge quantities. But things that are really, really good to get toxins out of your body are things like kale and broccoli, and the cruciferous vegetables, really good. And you can even get broccoli sprouts these days, and broccoli sprout powder, which is really powerful detoxifying agent, certainly for phase 2 anyway, which is often the step where most people are disabled. And milk thistle as well is a good herb. And then, of course, Ganoderma. Ganoderma, which, if you're a fan of My365, if you're a fan of ours already, then you know that we keep on going on about the healthy drinks with Ganoderma, and you can buy Ganoderma without the drinks. Really good for helping keep the whole body clean and happy. And what's more, Ganoderma protects against the effects of paracetamol. Another thing, N-acetylcysteine. Very important for producing glutathione and helping detoxify from paracetamol. It's what is given in hospitals to detoxify paracetamol, but it's very good for the whole detox process because it helps glutathione. So there's a lot more to this, to proper detoxification, really looking after your liver. If you want to learn more, if you want to go through a full detox protocol, then give me a call or PM me. Call us at the clinic on 01707 662 704. Also, I go into a lot more detail, a lot more training in my private Magnificent 7 Health training group. If you want to join that, again, give me a call. I'll let you know the details that we go through. There's all kinds of training that we've done to help everyone, and there's a private Facebook group where you get to ask me lots of questions and learn lots. And the next session is on Friday. So if you want to join that, again, contact me. Thank you for watching. Be well, everyone. And next week we will either dive into, we might go into weight loss actually next week. We might go into weight loss because there's a lot of good stuff coming out about that. And it is summer and everyone wants to get into their bikinis. Okay, be well, live long and prosper, everyone.